Pope Francis appeared to flatly reject proposals in some theological circles to add Co-redemptrix to the list of titles of the Virgin Mary, saying the Mother of Jesus never took anything that belonged to her Son and calling the invention of new titles and dogmas foolishness. Quote, she never wanted for herself something that was of her Son, Francis said. She never introduced herself as Co-redemptrix. No, disciple, he said, meaning that Mary saw herself as a disciple of Jesus. Mary, the Pope insisted, never stole for herself anything that was of her Son. Instead, serving him because she is mother, she gives life. When they come to us with the story of declaring her this or making that dogma, let's not get lost in foolishness, in Spanish, tonteras, he said. Francis's words, delivered in Spanish, came while celebrating a Thursday evening Mass in Rome for the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. The title of Mary as Co-redemptrix dates the Middle Ages, and the idea of declaring it as a church dogma was discussed, though not adopted, at the Second Vatican Council. In the 1990s, American Catholic theologian Mark Miravalle launched a petition asking the Pope to make such declaration, and today the Co-redemptrix devotion tends to be strongest among more conservative Catholics. What Francis said Thursday is in line with Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, the Vatican's doctrinal chief during most of John Paul II's papacy, and now Pope Emeritus Benedict the 16th. And what did Benedict say? He said, the formula Co-redemptrix departs to too great an extent from the language of Scripture and of the Fathers, and therefore gives rise to misunderstandings. Well, here's the problem. Popes for over 100 years have used the term Co-redemptrix and Co-mediatrix of Mary in their teachings. It's already been made a doctrine, just not a dogma. And what this illustrates once again is just how far away from his predecessors, John Paul II, how far away from his predecessors Francis really is. And it probably explains why, though there were millions of signers of those petitions, and John Paul II, his papal coat of arms had a TT on it, totus tuus, addressed to Mary, totally yours. I mean, there was reason to think that he might declare the dogma. But this might give us an insight into why he didn't, because Ratzinger was one of his right-hand men. And he undoubtedly was resistant to it. So is that movement for the Fifth Marian dogma over? You can't tell. That's just it. There's no way of predicting. Rome is Rome. Who knows who the next pope will be? Once you deny sola scriptura, there's no way of knowing. This pope could say, that's foolishness. And the next pope could say, you need to believe it. That's your problem. This is the same pope who sat on a plane talking about homosexuality and saying, who am I to judge? Well, who do you claim to be? Who did your predecessors claim to be? That's the question. What an amazing time we live in. And it just, I remember the bold bravery of the followers of Mark Miravalle, University of Steubenville. That's important place. I mean, that's where Scott Hahn went and taught and things like that. Wasn't long ago that they were riding the crest of the wave. And now the Pope, foolishness. What's going to be foolish next? Historic Roman Catholic doctrine. Oh, look what the German bishops just did. The German Roman Catholic bishops just declared homosexuality a natural human behavior over against the Catholic Catechism. Well, the Pope's changing the Catechism on capital punishment, and nuclear weapons. So why not? Why not? Rough day to be a Roman Catholic apologist. Rough day. What? Right. Well, of course, yeah. Yeah, that is the question. maybe on this issue, Ratzinger and Francis are in agreement, but there are many other issues that they are not. So a fascinating day. I remember I was at a Sonic drive-thru and I heard about Ratzinger's Benedict XVI's resignation. I was like, oh, is this going to change everything? And it has. No two ways about it. No